Hey guys, I'm Jody.
And I'm Justin.
And we're Board Game Perspective. And today we're taking a look at Cryo, published by Z-Man Games and plays 2 to 4 players. So this game, as the box suggests, has been sabotaged and has crash landed onto a frozen planet. And it's too cold to survive, so you're trying to get your crew and supplies down to the caverns where it's warmer so you can survive. And in order to do this, you're sending out your drones to accomplish these things.
So let's go ahead and do a quick overview, and then we're going to come right back up with our thoughts.
Alright, so let's do a brief overview of how to play. So, quickly, some of the setup here. Everyone's got their platform, and it starts with 3 drones, and then you got markers, and the level you are depends on turn order. You got some player aids. You start with 5 cards, and you choose 3, discard 2. Then there's cavern tiles, depending on player count. So I got this set up for a 3-player game. So let's see, let's find some. There you go. So this is in a 2-player game, you would not use that. So all these are face down except for the first 2 with the hot blue highlight. Those will remain face up. Then you've got damage markers. Depending on how many players are playing, you will place them out on the board. You got resource tiles. The stack depends on how many people are playing, and you will put those out in the corresponding areas. And then you have the crew pods of each color, each player. You got 1 of each in each chamber, and then over here you got 2 of each in each chamber. And then you have the incident tokens up here, and how many you have, it depends on how many players are playing, and some cards as well. So players are just going to take turns back and forth, and on your turn, you're going to either deploy a drone from your board, or you're going to recall your drones back to your platform. So when you deploy, you're going to take a drone from your platform and put it on an available space, and you got 4 main sections of the board. So let's just say I put it here, and then you can take an adjacent action. So we placed our drone here, so that means I can take an available adjacent, or take an adjacent action. So they got this here, this here, this here, and this here. Whenever you see these resource tiles out on the board, you can do one of 2 things. You can either take one of these to increase your level on your platform. So let's say I did that, I take that, then I would increase this up by 1. Or you can instead take this tile and put it in one of your slots on your board here. So let's just say I do that. This here is just exchanging resources, so the pink for the energy, and these dots up here show how many times you can do that on that turn. And these symbols up here just means turning in these resources to take some crew pods. And you can do this up to 3 times. So let's just do an example here. So we have 1 of the green resources. So I will move it down 1. And then you can take the same amount that you traded in resources for. So I can take 1 crew pod, and it has to be from this section of the board. And I can take from a stasis chamber here. So I would take 1 from here, and then you're going to put it on your platform if you have available spaces, and everyone starts with 3 spaces that are available. And then moving down to this section, these are kind of the same thing that we just went over, and then you got more resource tiles, and then whenever you see these markers out here that were placed during the setup, you cannot go there unless you have a special card that lets you do or gives you that ability. This here is a way to exchange resources to get or play cards from the deck or from your hand. So let's go over the cards. So this part up top here is the upgrade area, and then you have the vehicle, which is this area right here, and then on this side banner are the missions. Now you also have this scrap ability that anytime on your turn you can scrap to increase your resources or whatever is shown here. Now you can only use your card in one of those ways. So if it's scrapped, it's discarded. If you use the mission, which is end of the game objectives, you're just going to slide it over here on this side of your board. If you use it as the vehicle, you're going to place it on the bottom part, and you got 3 spots here. And this is where you're going to be placing your crew pods on your vehicles. And then the last one are upgrades, where you'll slide it in up top here and gives you a permanent ability for the rest of the game. This area has some more similar things, resource tiles. Same thing up here, you can take some crew pods by spinning resources from the stasis chambers. Then here's a way to exchange resources. Now this area of the board has a few more things that are different. Well, these are the same here, where you can spend resources to get crew pods. Now this is where you're going to take one crew pod from your platform and place it on an open salvage spot. So I can choose any of those, and depending on what player count you're playing with, these may or may not be open. This is going to be a way to get resources every round. And if you go here, or go here but take this action, this allows you to take up to 3 of your crew pods from the salvage area back and put them on your platform board. Now this one right here is Scout, and this is a way to explore new cavern tiles. So you got to spend these resources here, and you're going to take one of your crew pods from your platform and place it on a cavern tile. So whenever you scout and flip over a cavern tile, you can only flip ones adjacent to ones that have already been that are already face up, and you start with 2. So I could flip over one of these. I'll just do this one, and then you place your crew pod on that new cavern tile. Now the last location where you can deploy your drone is this launch zone right here, and any amount of people can go here. And this is a way to put more of your crew pods down into the caverns. So let's say I want to get some crew pods down into this cavern right here. You have to pay energy. So just to go here would be 1, but if I want to go down here, I have to pay 1, 2 energy. And then some cavern tiles also have a resource cost over here. So with that example we just talked about for launching, we're going to launch this vehicle, and the vehicle, this one holds up to 3 crew pods. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 crew pods and put it in the cavern that we had just discussed, and that also costs 2 resources because the cavern tiles show that on as a settlement cost on the side, and cost 1 energy. So because of those 3 crew pods that we just launched, they're now in this cavern tile, and I paid those 2 resources and 1 energy here, and now my 3 crew pods are in that cavern. So if you don't want to deploy or don't have any more drones to deploy, then you're going to recall. And what you're going to do first is do recovering the salvage. So you will gain 1 material per crew pod that's assigned. So we got 1 there, so I would move up my green by 1 on my green resource track. And then you're going to resolve incidents, where you're going to choose 1 face-up incident up here. And then you're going to return your drones to your board 1 at a time, so you're just going to get all your drones, and then you're going to return them to the board, and you're going to be activating the abilities that are on your board as well. So your platform has a way where you can kind of modify and make it what you want it to be. So I filled in with resource tiles these 3 locations. So whenever you return your drones to these locations, you can spend 1 of this green resource to increase your energy by 1. If I place my drone here, then I automatically just increase by 1. And then here, I could turn in 1 to increase this one by 1. And then, there's other spots you can kind of make it to be whatever you want. Now, resolving incident tokens will typically either gain you a resource. So if I took this one here, I would just increase my resource track by 1 for that. If it happened to have been this, that's a sabotage, and that's going to be where you are going to move crew pods from 1 stasis chamber, and it's been sabotaged, and those go out to the side of the board. And whenever you take a token, you fill it up with the next one. Now once all these incident tokens have been placed out and taken, and this final sunset token is placed out, you can trigger the end of the game when a player resolves their next incident and picks this up. That could trigger the end of the game, as well as if any player has all of their crew pods in caverns or destroyed. So once the game is over, then you will score points, and whoever has the most points is the winner. And there's different ways to get points. You can get 2 points for each crew pod in caverns below, 1 for each upgrade or vehicle that you have on your on your platform. 1 point for each crew pod that is on a platform or a vehicle, and then you will get points shown on your mission cards. If you had this as a mission, you would score those points. And lastly, cavern majority. So whoever has the most will get the first place prize, and the second place will get the bottom.
All right, guys. So that was Cryo, and here's kind of what we thought about it. So my initial thought was, wow, this is really taking a little bit of time. I felt like it was really a hard thing to kind of get the engine going and get things rolling. It was hard to kind of formulate what's that strategy early in the game and kind of build things up and actually get to where I feel like there's different stages to the game almost, and trying to figure out when you move from one stage to the next was kind of interesting and weird and hard for me. So that was just kind of my feeling on it. Once you got going a little bit, though, I felt like things started to move a little bit. If you had some things out here that was giving you some resources, you had some things on your board that was giving you resources each time you withdrew. That was a good thing. So then you could do a little bit more as the game progressed. But yeah, definitely getting things going.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, it definitely didn't feel as much of like, building into that engine building thing pretty quickly. It definitely felt like it was like trying to figure out how to get this thing going. I do think, I know for me, I probably should have utilized the salvage area a little bit more, where you're placing your crew pods out there, and every time you, was it recall? I forgot what that phase is called. Where you pull back your ships and stuff, you produce resources that way. I know last game we played, you did that, and
I kind of blocked everybody
you were getting tons of resources.
Yeah.
So I think I probably should utilize that a little bit more than I did. And I also, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out, so like the player boards, how you have, you can fill in these slots and get things whenever you recall your drones and place them back here. I don't know. I found like I thought it was gonna be more useful than it kind of was.
I think it was hard to figure out like what direction to go with. I don't know. It was like,
yeah, we definitely haven't mastered this game.
Not at all. Not even close.
But I mean, I love the concept of this. I just feel like it wasn't as engine building feel as I thought it was going to be with this. I still like it. It
was hard to figure out just how to utilize it.
Yeah. I love the concept of it though. But it's still, I mean, you still get good things if you build it up nice, but it's not as much as I was expecting, to really provide. Like, it might give you a few things here and there, but so what are your thoughts like overall? Did you like it, not like it?
Well, I mean, you can't really beat these cool little components, right? So you got these little drones here. Aren't those kind of cool?
Yeah. The components wise, like, I love the components of this game. I mean, guys, the components are so cool. Yes. And the drones. Oh, and if you get all the drones, they also stack on top of each other, which is so cool.
Yeah, they stack nice and neat.
I mean, it's not necessary for the game, but it's just a fun thing to do if you want to play and be like a kid.
For the organizer in her, she likes when things stack just right.
Yeah, and I was really drawn to this game initially because I really like the theme. I like, space. Well, I like spacey themes, and then your ship crash landed, and I love the aesthetic of this game. Like, the artwork is kind of unique, I feel.
Yeah.
It's, and the cards. I really liked the look of this game.
Yeah.
And I still do, and I love the components. So that definitely won me over with all that stuff.
Yeah, I think for me though, just for whatever reason, it didn't grab me and didn't pull me in. Obviously, the slow pace getting things started was kind of difficult, but then I feel like, I don't know, for whatever reason it wasn't holding my attention really, really well for some reason. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, so I like this game. I like a lot of games. I would say this is like middle of the pack for me. It's not one like I'm gonna be like, ooh, I don't want. Like, I'll definitely keep this game. but it's not like, the best game. It's kind of in the middle of the pack for me. So I mean, if you like worker placement stuff, if you like this theme, and definitely, I mean, it looks awesome. Oh, and did I mention the dual layer boards? So if you like those types of things, I would give this game a try for sure. I would definitely play this, over again, and I really do like it, despite some of the things that we talked about.
Yeah.
It's just more of middle of the pack for me.
Yeah, I would say middle of the pack, kind of in my book as well.
All right. Well, that is our thoughts on Cryo. And if you guys have your own thoughts about it, if you played it, let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are. And if you guys want to help us out, go ahead and click that subscribe button and like this video. And thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.